Have you ever wondered why some men seem to have this almost magnetic pull on women? The type of guy who doesn't even have to try, yet women can't stop thinking about him, talking about him, or chasing after him. Here's the truth: it's not about being the richest guy in the room, and it's definitely not about looking like a Hollywood celebrity. What really makes women obsessed with a man are certain hidden traits, subtle behaviors and mindsets that most men overlook. And the best part? Any man can develop them. In this video, I'm going to break down the secrets that turn attraction into obsession. And once you understand them, you'll see women respond to you in a way you've never experienced before. So let's get straight into the first secret. And honestly, it's the foundation of everything. Because without this, nothing else will work. I'm talking about unshakable confidence. Secret number 1, unshakable confidence. Asterisk. The first secret that makes women obsessed with a man is unshakable confidence. And I want you to understand, I'm not talking about arrogance, fake bravado, or acting like you're better than everyone else. I'm talking about the type of confidence that's calm, grounded, and so natural that people can feel it the moment you walk into a room. Here's the thing: women don't just notice confidence, they feel it. When you stand tall, speak with certainty, and carry yourself like a man who knows his worth, it changes the entire energy in the room. You don't even have to say a word, and yet people can sense it. That's why confidence is magnetic. Now, let's clear something up. Confidence is not about being the loudest guy in the group, making the most jokes, or flexing your achievements. That's usually a mask to cover insecurity. Real confidence is quiet. It's steady. It's the man who doesn't need to prove himself because he already knows his value. Think about it. A man who fidgets constantly, avoids eye contact, or second-guesses himself sends one message: insecurity. But a man who makes eye contact, keeps his shoulders back, and listens calmly before he speaks sends a completely different message: strength. And strength is what women find irresistible. But here's the real secret. Confidence isn't built overnight. It's a byproduct of how you live your life. The more you push yourself out of your comfort zone, the more you keep promises to yourself, the more you overcome challenges, the stronger your confidence becomes. It's like a muscle. The more you train it, the more powerful it gets. And women can tell the difference. If you're pretending to be confident, eventually, that mask slips. But if you are confident, if you've built yourself into someone who believes in his worth, then it radiates from you naturally. Here's what's crazy. You don't even have to be the best-looking guy in the room, or the richest, or the most talented. If you have real confidence, women will be drawn to you in ways that surprise you. Because deep down, every woman is wired to be attracted to a man who can stand strong in himself. And when you combine confidence with calmness, meaning you don't overreact, you don't get defensive, you don't crumble under pressure, that's when women get obsessed. Because you've just shown her something rare. You're a man she can rely on, a man she can respect, and a man she can't stop thinking about. So if you want women to chase you, admire you, and see you as someone special, start with this. Build unshakable confidence. Work on your body. Work on your mind. Keep promises to yourself. And most importantly, walk into every room knowing you belong there. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Because confidence is just the beginning. The next secret is what magnifies it. It's what makes women not just attracted, but deeply hooked. And that's the ability to stay calm and collected no matter what. I'm talking about emotional control. Secret number 2, emotional control. The second secret that makes women obsessed with a man is emotional control. Now listen carefully, because this is a big one. A lot of guys think being attractive to women is all about looks, money, or being the funniest guy in the room. But the truth is, none of that matters if you don't know how to control your emotions. Here's why. Women are deeply emotional creatures. They feel, they sense, they pick up on energy much faster than men do. And when she's around a man who is calm, collected, and steady, no matter what's happening, she feels safe. And safety is what allows obsession to grow. Think about it. What happens when life throws you a curveball? Do you panic? Do you lash out? Do you let anger, jealousy, or insecurity take over? Or do you breathe, take a step back, and handle things with patience and control? Because that difference is exactly what separates men who get ignored from men women can't let go of. Picture this. A couple is out to dinner and something goes wrong with the order. One man explodes at the waiter, complaining, raising his voice, making a scene. The other man, he stays calm, maybe cracks a little joke, and handles it with maturity. Which man do you think she finds more attractive? Which man does she want to be with long term? The answer is obvious. But here's the thing. Emotional control isn't about being a robot. It doesn't mean you never feel anger, sadness, or frustration. It means you know how to master those emotions instead of letting them master you. You respond instead of react. You pause before you speak. You don't let temporary feelings make permanent decisions. That's power. And women can't resist that kind of power. Because when you show her that you won't be shaken by stress, arguments, or pressure, she starts to view you as a leader. She sees you as a rock, someone who can hold it together when everything else is falling apart. That's rare. That's attractive. That's obsession-worthy. Here's a little secret most men don't realize. Women will test you emotionally. Sometimes consciously, sometimes unconsciously. She might push your buttons, challenge your patience, or even pull back just to see how you'll react. And if you crumble, if you lash out, if you get desperate, the attraction dies instantly. But if you stay calm, centered, and composed, that's when she gets hooked. Because deep down, every woman wants to feel that the man she's with is stable, reliable, and unshakable. She doesn't want a man who gets jealous every 5 seconds. She doesn't want a man who panics at small problems. She wants a man who's in control of himself. Because if you can't control yourself, how could you ever lead a relationship, a family, or a life together? So if you want women to not just like you, but to truly become obsessed with you, master this art. Learn to regulate your emotions. Meditate, journal, hit the gym, practice patience, whatever it takes to stay grounded. Because emotional control isn't just attractive, it's magnetic. Now here's where it gets really interesting. Confidence and emotional control create a powerful foundation. But there's another secret that adds mystery. The thing that keeps her thinking about you nonstop, even when you're not around. And that's the power of independence and mystery. Secret number 3, independence and mystery. The third secret that makes women obsessed with a man is independence and mystery. Now listen closely, because this is where a lot of men go wrong. Most guys, the moment they meet a woman they like, start pouring out their attention, their energy, and their entire life story. They answer every text instantly. They cancel their plans just to be available. They reveal everything about themselves in the first few conversations. And guess what? That kills attraction. Why? Because human nature values what is scarce. If something is always available, it loses value. And it's the same in relationships. When you make yourself too predictable, too available, too easy to figure out, there's nothing left to chase, nothing left to wonder about. And women love to wonder. See, obsession is born out of curiosity. When she's not quite sure what you're up to, when she feels like there's more to you than what you're showing, her mind starts filling in the blanks. She thinks about you when you're not around. She asks herself questions. What's he doing? Who's he with? Why isn't he texting me back right away? That little bit of mystery creates a pull she can't ignore. But let's be clear, mystery does not mean playing childish games. It's not about ignoring her for days or acting cold. That backfires. What I'm talking about is being a man with his own life, his own goals, his own passions, and not dropping everything just because a woman enters the picture. Independence is when she realizes, this man's world doesn't revolve around me. And that's exactly why I want to be a part of it. Think about the men women obsess over. They're not the ones who beg for attention. They're not the ones who lose themselves in a relationship. They're the ones who are driven, focused, and hard to fully figure out. They reveal themselves piece by piece, and that makes every new discovery exciting. Here's the mistake many men make. They think that by oversharing and overcommunicating, they're building closeness. But real attraction is about pacing. It's about letting her get to know you gradually, while still keeping parts of yourself just out of reach. That's what keeps her hooked. And here's another key point. When you have independence, you naturally give off a vibe of abundance. You're not desperate. You're not clinging. You're not afraid of losing her. Because your identity, your happiness, your confidence doesn't depend on one woman's approval. And that independence makes her respect you more. Here's the psychological truth. Women chase men they feel they can't fully have. If you're always available, she feels she already has you. But if you're independent, if you have your own life, your own drive, your own mystery, she'll keep chasing because she wants to earn more of you. So here's the bottom line. Stop oversharing. Stop being too available. Stop dropping your life just to fit into hers. Instead, stay focused on your purpose. Let her discover you gradually. Give her enough to feel connected, but hold back enough to stay intriguing. Because confidence draws her in, emotional control makes her trust you. But mystery? That's what makes her obsessed. And when you combine all three, you unlock the fourth and final secret. The one that makes women not just curious, not just attracted, but completely enchanted by your presence. And that's the art of charisma and presence. Secret number 4, charisma and presence. The fourth secret that makes women obsessed with a man is charisma and presence. Now, let me make something clear. Charisma is not about being the funniest guy in the room, or the loudest, or the one always cracking jokes. True charisma is about energy. It's about how you make people feel when they're around you. And presence? Presence is the ability to make someone feel like they're the only person in the world when you're with them. Think about the most magnetic people you've ever met. They weren't necessarily the richest, the best looking, or even the smartest. But when they spoke, people leaned in. When they entered a room, people noticed. And when they looked at you, it felt like you mattered. That's charisma. Now, here's the secret formula. Charisma equals confidence plus warmth. A lot of men have confidence, but they come off as cold, intimidating, or arrogant. On the flip side, some men have warmth. They're kind, friendly, easy to talk to, but they lack strength and backbone. True charisma is the balance of both. When you combine strength with warmth, you become unforgettable. Presence is what takes this to the next level. Most people today are distracted. They're glued to their phones, half listening, or already thinking about what they'll say next. But when you give someone your full attention, when you maintain eye contact, when you nod, when you listen deeply instead of waiting to talk, you instantly stand out. Women are not used to that. And when you give her that level of focus, it's intoxicating. She feels seen. She feels valued. And that feeling lingers long after the conversation ends. Here's what makes presence so powerful. Women don't always remember your exact words, but they will always remember how you made them feel. If you make her feel beautiful, if you make her feel heard, if you make her feel like she matters, she will think about you long after you've left. That's how obsession is born. Now let's talk about body language, because it's a huge part of charisma. Stand tall, shoulders back, chin up. Don't rush your movements. Speak clearly, and don't be afraid of pauses. Silence, when used correctly, is powerful. Smile genuinely. Use touch sparingly but confidently. These small signals create a magnetic presence that women are naturally drawn to. And here's the best part. Charisma isn't something you're born with. It's something you can develop. Start practicing presence in every conversation you have. Put your phone away. Look people in the eye. Speak with calm authority. Smile. Over time, these habits compound, and your charisma grows. When you combine the first 3 secrets, confidence, emotional control, and independence, with charisma and presence, you create something unstoppable. You're no longer just another guy she met. You're the man who stands out in her mind. The man she thinks about at night. The man she can't stop telling her friends about. And that's the ultimate secret. Women don't just fall for looks or status. They fall for the way you make them feel. Master charisma and presence, and you'll leave an impression so strong, it borders on obsession. And there you have it, the 4 secrets that make women obsessed with a man. But here's the truth. These aren't just tricks to get attention. These are qualities that turn you into the kind of man other men respect, and the kind of man women can't stop thinking about. Confidence, emotional control, independence, charisma. When you master these, you stop chasing and start attracting. You don't beg for validation, you become the validation. You don't try to prove your worth, you already know it. And trust me, that's when everything in your life changes. Now, if this video spoke to you, don't just click away and forget it. Apply it. Live it. And if you want more content like this, raw, practical, and straight to the point, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now. Because this is just the beginning, and I've got much more coming that will take your confidence, your mindset, and your attraction to the next level.